D'Angelo, weight loss coach to the stars, and everybody else. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, guys.
You're getting married in 2 weeks?
April 14th.
Holy mackerel.
Goodness.
Congratulations,
And
Steve.
I told him, I don't see my invite. I don't know where it is.
When was the last time we had lunch, Kelly?
I
I forgot. We never
know.
have.
Yes.
We never have.
Yes. You are your lovely bride.
Crystal.
How did you meet her? She lived in your house?
Well, it's an eerie story. So she and I met actually in 2012. I was heading out to California.
Right.
She was heading back to California, having visited her cousins who were attending university in Illinois. I was going there to do a show. We struck up a friendship. We started communicating via email. Those emails over a course of about a year led to a much deeper friendship. She then came here to visit in December of 2013, and our relationship unfolded. After a couple of years of dating, she was working out of Boston at the time. Her and I decided that moving to the next stage in our relationship would be a good idea, that is, living in the same city. But we had reservations. You guys know I'm very mission-driven with helping people, and so I didn't want her to come here, nor did she, and fall in the shadow of my work.
Yeah.
And that is, just be kind of attached to me rather than having her own individual life. So we prayed on it quite a bit. In about 2 weeks, we made the decision to go ahead and move forward, and she was going to move here. We made the decision for that to happen, and 2 weeks before she was to come here, an elderly woman was in my front yard. I had come home, and my neighbor was there, and she said that she came outside. This elderly woman was trying to get into my house. The woman appeared to be like 80 years old, was
Right.
walking all around it, trying the doors, even looking in the windows. I asked my neighbor, was it someone I needed to be concerned with? She said, well, by the time I came out, she had already gotten in her car and drove down the street. I said, well, did you get her license plate? I said, what was she doing? She said, well, I waved her down. She said she used to live in this house in the 1940s. I said, wow. She said she was hoping that she could have a tour of the house. She was in the area.
Right.
She was feeling sentimental, et cetera. And I got her name and number. She wrote it on a piece of paper. I put it in your mailbox. I said, okay. I said, what was her name? She said, I didn't really catch it. So I didn't think much of it. I went in. There was a little slip of paper on the floor. I picked it up, was about to take a shower, but something just came over me to open that piece of paper. I unfolded the piece of paper and read the name. It was Sally Prague, then a phone number, and her parents' names, George and Lorraine Prague. Well, it so happens that Crystal's last name is Prague. And I thought this has to be some type of joke,
way.
right? So we'll get this. So I think I'm, as, shall we say, skeptical as the next. So I call the number, and the voicemail pronounces the name correctly. So then I call Crystal, and she's as floored by it as I am.
Right.
Her brother, Russ, had done their ancestry a few years prior. And remember, our biggest concern about this whole thing of her moving here was there was really no family, no friends here. Both pairs of our parents, mine and hers, are both deceased. So she was coming into an environment where it was pretty much just our relationship pulling us forward. So he looks up on the family tree and finds that this woman is her father's second cousin. So they grew up in the house that I lived in as a boy, okay? And I had moved back to that house only after my mother had passed away. So if you are in your life circumstance right now and you really kind of are losing hope in yourself, losing hope on some type of assisting force, I'm here to tell you there's always grace in
Right.
work in our life. And we just have to be open to seeing it. And that was for Crystal and I a validation that we
Yeah.
were certainly on the right course.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That
great
is a
story.
great story.
All right, Charles, get this healthy. What do people want to know about changing their life and turning the page?
I know we're running out of time. So the biggest thing I think people want to understand about my work is while we say it's about losing weight, it's weight in a much broader sense than just on the scale. So many of us know exactly what to do, but are really having difficulty acting on what we know. So it's letting go of the chains of our past, really starting to disconnect from using things to distract ourselves, to console ourselves from the givens of life. Most of us know it's a good idea to eat every few hours. It's a good idea to eat low glycemic carbohydrates,
Right.
green vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, all those things. But it's getting into a pattern where those things become automated and almost like a ritual, like a routine. And the way we need to do that is create space by deciding in advance, here's a strategy we're going to follow, and holding ourselves to a new standard, a different, shall we say, agreement with ourselves, so that when we get stressed, when we have sadness, when we feel anger, when we're afraid, we don't reach outside of ourselves for something, but rather we allow ourselves to really experience the feeling without stuffing it down or running away from it. And most people that come to see me, that's the key issue. It's
Right.
not that they don't know what they need to be doing with food or exercise. And that's such a small piece of what I do with people. It's really starting to look at their circumstance, design a very compelling future that's invigorating, and it really kind of serves as a magnet to pull them forward so that their past doesn't have such a pull on them.
All right, how do people get a hold of you?
My website is charlesdangelo.com, and my phone number is 314-495-3228.
And I should say this, that you are very non-judgmental, right? You're very open. You're very.
Well, I think if I was judgmental, I certainly couldn't be in the
Right.
business I'm in.
But I mean, don't be afraid to call.
Well,
because,
I've been there. I was 360 pounds.
Right,
So when
yeah.
you're coming to my office, always remember there's two Charleses there. There's Charles of today, but then there's that bullied, obese teen who came from a family of modest means, whose mom abused alcohol and prescription drugs. So I get it. I've been there.
The website
is charlesdangelo.com.
Happy Easter, my friend.
Have a great Easter.
And
guys.
good luck with the wedding. Congrats.